Hey tubers, it's Jimmy here again. I got something special for you. We're going to do a little exhaust work on my 82 F-150 that has a 4BT Cummins. So recently, helping out a friend and who's doing a 4BT swap on his Bronco, I have acquired his old exhaust system that he's not going to use. He's going to a 4-inch instead of the 3, and I have a 3-inch with my 4BT, and so this muffler will work out just fine. I actually tested it on my truck to see how it sounded, and it quieted down. The exhaust noise is a lot quieter now. Once this is installed, I'll just have noise from the engine, which I'll quiet down later with insulation under the bonnet and whatnot. So I got this tailpipe. I probably won't use the tailpipe because the exhaust that I have on now is twice as thick as this stuff, so I'm probably not going to use this. We'll probably use this for my cousin's truck. He has a 4BT as well. Yeah, basically everybody I know now has a 4BT, so. Anyways, I got this. As you can see, it had some hangers on it. I cut them off. I didn't really want to get into cutting the welds because, well, it's on there pretty good, and I figured to just cut that off and file it down a little bit, and there's nothing to really catch my fingers or anything and get cut. What's going on under here for an exhaust? So, this is what we have. No cat, no muffler. I'm gonna see, but I think right here, close to this hanger, would be a nice spot for the muffler. And since it's kind of a narrow muffler, I think we'll be fine. We won't hit our drive shaft or anything. So, we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna figure out what length I need to cut out, so I'm going to do that here in just a moment. But also, as I mentioned, I have an exhaust tip that I would like to use. And it's a little beat up, but it'll kind of look like it's already been on here for a while. And so what I was thinking is, if I put it on right here, as you can see, I've already put a couple things on here, it just sticks way out here, and I don't want that. I actually want to trim this back a little bit and have the tip tuck in some more. It'll look a little bit neater than this, and I think it'll sound cool. Plus, this pipe here has this, it's kind of hard to see because of the soot or the color of the pipe in there, but it has this lip from when they used a pipe cutter, and we didn't deburr it, so it has a lot of noise coming out of it. So I'm gonna cut this off, and then we'll make sure that we don't have anything like this on the other end, which I think we will with the Sawzall. But since this is solid pipe, and we have a mount already here, I think cutting it will be pretty easy. Okay, so here's the dealio. I've measured the length of the muffler, and we got about 22 inches from the end of this plate in here. And then when I put it up here and just kind of roughly marked it, this is where I'm gonna cut, and then my pipe will get welded on here. Actually, one end I have to weld. I have to seam weld. That's the only scary part. But I can seam weld exhaust. That end goes on here. So, but I just got a rough measurement here of where the exhaust is gonna go. Now, what I want to figure out is where I need to actually cut this end, because I'm slipping one end on, but I need to have room here for seam welding. So there's some room for error, but I've got to kind of do this just right. So this is the end that I'm going to cut. I don't care where this is at. Now this is good here. So I'm going to cut here. Our one end of our muffler has got these little slits in them, one on each side, sorry. So it's going to slip over here, and then we'll clamp it down, and we have room to adjust where we want it. Over here, I marked roughly where this pipe is going to be, so I can seam weld it. If anything, we'll be moving the muffler back a tiny bit. So, is this ideal? No. What would be nice is to actually flare this out a little bit and then have it go in. This is what they did here when they put the welded the original setup together. So that's all flared out. I don't have that ability, so I have to seam weld. I got about 90% through my cut and the blade broke right in half. I'm using the Harbor Freight ones that my cousin bought. I went and bought some proper ones for just a couple bucks more. I got a pack of 5 of these at the local Ace Hardware, and they're made in USA with global material, so essentially still made in China. And you know, is it really that hard to make a couple of saw blades in America with, you know, American paint, American steel? I mean, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna break one out of here and finish cutting that pipe. Well, I didn't really cut all that straight on that end. Whoops. Well, we'll have to do some work on that. We might have to take this pipe out and trim a little bit, but didn't do too straight on that. I don't really care a whole lot about that. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see what kind of angle we're at. We might be filling that up. Now the cool thing is, I know my 4BT is not it's running pretty good. This is not caked full of soot. I got it tuned just right, and just smoke a little bit, but it's not like chooching. This was floating around in there. I was like, where did it go? I was hoping it didn't go through the front, but so there we go. We're pressed in there. The edge is just past the slit there, so we're good. And then we're kind of about where we need to be. I'm glad I cut a little bit back, a little bit further. Would have been nice if I did a little bit straighter, but oh well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get something to support this, because what I want to do is I want to get it right about where this lip here is kind of flush with this. And then I'm just gonna tack it in a few spots, get it where it's pretty much nice and solid, and then yeah, we got a bit of a gap here. I think I'm gonna try and unbolt this guy here. I also need to bring the tip up just a tiny bit more so it's not hitting up against my fuel tank, and I think we'll be good to go. So yeah, figured this one out here. I was actually thinking I have just enough left on my cutting wheel, on my angle grinder. I can probably just zip a tiny bit off here. I think I might wrap it in tape and just mark where I want trimmed, because really I just need from here down, taken down a 1/4 of an inch or so. And then if I can get it like that, then we can push the pipe a tiny bit forward and then do a nice seam weld. So we'll see how that goes. Now also make sure you get a round file or a deburr tool and just go in here like this and just remove the little edges. Well, as much as I am ashamed to say I'm not a very good welder, but that's pretty solid. I gotta unbolt this hanger here, and then I'm gonna unbolt the hanger back there and drop this all down, and then slide it out so that I can get this off. I have a clamp for this I want to use, so I need to get off anyways. But when I drop it down to the ground here, I can weld the top up. I had a bit of a gap here. I had to fill it in with some weld, so it got pretty ugly. Yeah, you know, not the best welds by any means, but I think as long as it holds and seals up, I'm happy with it. You know, it is my truck, so I'm not too worried about it. And what I like about this muffler, this is how my exhaust is just gonna be. You just really can't see it a whole lot. It kind of still tucks up. I have it at an angle, just because it's how it took most of the gap out, so that's not too bad. I had a huge gap right here. That's where all the big barnacle is. But, oh well. Eventually I'll get a gas shielded welder instead of a self-shielding one. But oh well. Anyways, I'm gonna do some unbolting here and get this exhaust drop down. Choo choo! So I guess I'll weld this up here and clean it up as best I can, I guess, and I guess we're kind of straight. Yeah. Yeah, the metal of my exhaust pipe's almost twice as thick as the metal on this. That's crazy. Okay, well, I'll fiddle fart with that, and then I'll throw the exhaust back up there again. I didn't feel like putting the bolt back in, so I just barnacled it on there. It's got she's attached pretty solidly right here, so if that ever breaks, I can just put the bolt back in, but it's good for now. Oh, I got some rusty metal primer. I'm gonna back there, and then I've got some 3M undercoating stuff I'll squirt on there, so it kind of covers that up and we don't crustify. I got the pipe actually back right where it used to be. The rubber got a little bit of in it. Oops. But it can move around. It's solid. I got that horrifically welded together, and then solidly we're clamped to that end, so we're good there. And I actually got it just right. It's tucked up in there nice. Now what I want to do is figure out where I want to put this tip, and then we'll just trim a piece off. And what I'm going to is I'll put the jack under here and put tension on the pipe. That way it's kind of solid, and then I can cut what I want perfectly, and then deburr it, throw the thing on, and then we're good to go. But I want to get rid of this end here, and then once we're done there, we can fire it up and move it out. But I am going to hook up my fan to have it suck the exhaust out. Alright, got some weight on the exhaust there with the jack. So about that much pipe will stick into this guy here. So we'll be something about like that. I might even go on a little bit further. Oh yeah. You know these Milwaukee blades I bought? I've made 2 cuts so far, and I haven't even like really made a dent in this blade. And what I like is they don't bend. So we're gonna go something like this. We're gonna try and go somewhat straight. I'm gonna cut a little bit out past that line there. Definitely think Todd Boak's truck was burning some oil, because this is like just filled with goo. Something like that. I'm working on some more, but that looks a lot better. I can always get a new 3-inch tip, but I'll get that in a little bit further and see what it looks like. That looks, you know, it is kind of goofy, kind of messed up, but it does look a lot cooler, and it looks to be quieter and a little bit cleaner sounding. Yeah, that's a lot quieter. That. That's way quieter. I think I'll take it for a cruise and see how it sounds on the road.
Come on, little fella, you like a jump rope. What do you think candy is made out of?
Pokemon!
Pokemon? No, actually, candy is more like Kodak film. See, here I go. I'm going zip zop zoom da bop. It's okay, take your time. Do you remember what he looked like?